Well, first I'd like to congratulate Martavius and Jamarcus for such a great job at sectionals. That was a fantastic high jump session. So what I want to do today, though, is help you figure out your own steps without having a coach with you on the state meet day. So we're going to use, just for example, Martavius's marks, and we're going to use tape, chalk that I just showed there, and there's the tape. And what we're first going to do is measure out Martavius's first mark, which is, I guess, 11 feet 1 inch. And what we do is we line up the beginning of that tape right with the standard pole, which I'm showing right here. And I put something heavy on top of the tape, if I'm doing this myself, so that I can pull the tape out to get my measurement. So in this case, again, I'm going to put some marks down from Martavius that I have listed here, but I'll probably get back with your coach later this week and maybe have different measurements for you, but this is just to show you how to do it yourself. So I would take this chalk, and the first mark would be 11 feet 1 inch, so making the mark right there. Alright, now the next thing we want to do is figure out your transition spot and your starting spot. And what we're doing is we put the tape down right across, directly across from the standard pole. And here's what I'm referring to. This is the pole right here, and I go straight back, and I'll put my beginning mark, or put the tape at that chalk mark that I put down, 11 foot 1. Again, I'll put something heavy on the tape. Then I'll stretch the tape outwards. It's perpendicular to the high jump mat, so it's basically I'm basically creating a square. So what I'll first do is I'll get some chalk, and you just have chalk and tape with you at the meet. You might just need to put tape down. You may not even need to put chalk down, but in this case I'm going to mark your spot. The next mark for Martavius is 17 feet 5 inches. And then the starting spot is 42 feet 3 inches. So I put a mark there, and now I'm going to get some tape and put the tape right next to those marks that I made. So what you'll basically have then is your starting mark, your transition mark, and the starting mark is the farthest, which I'm approaching now. Transition mark is where I just put the tape. So you're just basically going to run from that starting mark to the transition mark and then curve to the bar. Okay, what I want to show you is a very bad video of Martavius's jump. And Martavius utilizes a semicircle approach to the bar, which we don't want to do for several reasons that I'll outline here in just a second. So instead of doing the semicircle approach, we want to do the J approach, which I showed you how to measure the video before, and the video after this one will show you a J approach and show you why you want to jump or approach the bar in that way. Now, a semicircle approach is not a good approach in that you never know exactly how many steps it's going to take to get to the bar. You don't know exactly how far to bow out before you bow back in to jump over the bar. So your steps are always going to be inconsistent, which means you're not going to jump at the right spot, which means you're likely to hit the bar a lot. And in high jump, if two high jumpers tie, the individual that has the most misses is going to be the loser. So we don't want to hit off the bar if we can help it. Now, if you take a look at Martavius as he runs and approaches the bar, you'll notice that he's not leaning away from the bar. And again, in the next video, you'll see why that's important. But you'll see that when Martavius is just off the ground, you can see his body is already jumping into the bar. So he could jump a lot higher because he won't, using the J approach, because he won't be hopefully leaning into the bar like he is with the semicircle approach. And this approach also doesn't really utilize your curve to the bar. And then finally, you can see that he jumps up and then he basically comes straight down. And in this case, he knocked the bar off. So this just really isn't the ideal approach. The J approach is the ideal one, and I'll show that to you here in a second. Okay, this is a slow motion video of a British high jumper who broke the British high jump record on this particular jump. And as you can see from her straight run to the bar, she's getting a decent amount of speed. She's not in an all-out sprint, and you don't want to be in an all-out sprint, but she is going at a strong pace to the bar. And you can see her do her start, and then she gets to her transition mark, and then she curves to the bar. And as she's curving towards the bar, she's leaning away from the bar. This is key to jumping higher. As you can see, her body is straight up and down as she comes off the ground. She's not jumping into the bar as we saw when Martavius was jumping. Martavius had no choice but to jump into the bar because he wasn't leaning away from the bar before he took off the ground. You have to be leaning away from the bar so that when you're actually jumping and getting up into the air, you're actually straight up and down versus jumping right into the bar. So that's the whole point of doing the lean. And you can see that she has a pretty good arch when she goes over the bar. Her head is back, her legs are hanging low, and the lower your head and the lower your legs, the more arch you'll get. And you can also see once her hips go over the bar, she puts her chin into her chest, and at the same time she throws her legs back. So this really is a textbook way to jump using the J approach to the bar.